Hey everybody, it's Corey again with the TTC waiting game. I'm doing an extra video. It's more just kind of like a fun, extra tips, fun ideas type thing. Um, so what we're going to do is I have a couple topics that I laid out and looked up. I have the top 10 baby boy names and girl names for this year, top 8 baby shower games, and the top 10 signs that you may be pregnant. And the signs for you may be pregnant was so much information. So I had at least 12 or 13 different websites up and just made note of the top 10 things that occurred the most on each one, because some of them had variations in their signs. So first thing we'll do is the pregnancy signs and symptoms. Obviously the number one sign you're pregnant is you missed your period. If you're like me, who my periods are so irregular that a missed period isn't always a dead giveaway of, oh, I'm pregnant. It's usually my period's just late. And don't mind me, I know in the previous video I said I'm going to stay away from soda, but it's all natural, so I can drink this one. But the next pregnancy sign is you're tired. You're more tired than usual. Where normal everyday things, you're just more tired than usual. Like even if you're at work and you know how you get to that certain point during the day where you just want to nap, it gets to the point where it's like you could literally, like, your head would hit the desk. You're that tired. The next one is you feel sick and sluggish, just not yourself at all, and you're actually more prone to get sick. Like your throat will feel more sore, and like the headaches, and like when your hormones are going crazy and you're getting sick, sometimes the rapid fluctuation in your hormones will give you a really bad headache, and they happen a lot. The other thing is, I know with some women, they get it when they get close to their period or when they're on their period, is your boobs become more tender, and especially around the nipple, but they just hurt, and they're just so uncomfortable, and like even wearing like a bra hurts. Another thing is peeing a lot, but that usually doesn't occur until like weeks 6 to 8, when you notice it's more of a frequent urination. But other thing is with the peeing a lot, it might not be that you're pregnant. You could have a UTI as well, and a UTI doesn't always have to have like the crazy, like, I gotta go pee right now, and like the discomfort. And it's not always like the constant discomfort. Like when I've had UTIs, I don't have the discomfort. I just know that I have to, it's kind of like a more frequent having to go pee. But so that one's, debatable. Massive mood swings, because your hormones are so crazy. You could be ready to fight one minute, and then you're upset and crying the next minute. It's like you're laughing and giggling and having a good time. Definitely mood swings. Those are always the funnest with the men. And also your taste changes for your food. Like certain foods that you love to eat, all of a sudden it's like they make you sick to your stomach, and it's like they don't smell very good, or they just don't taste the same. That happens a lot. The other thing is spotting, because when the baby will implant itself into your uterus, you're going to spot. And spotting could be pink, red, and sometimes a brown. Now with the brown, the reason sometimes when you spot it's brown is because the previous cycle you had, when the uterus lining sheds itself when you get your period, not all of it will shed. So when you get a brown spot the next time you get your period, it's because there's leftover, parts of your uterus that haven't shed all the way yet. And if it implants and you see brown, it could just be that it's the rest of your uterus shedding for your period. Or when it implants, it's, you're just getting the leftover stuff. But the spotting, is usually really, really light. Like light to the point where you rarely ever need a pad. Like it only lasts maybe a day or two. And wicked light, where it's like the point where when you wipe you see it. Other than that, you don't see it. The other thing is bloating. Bloating usually does occur when you get your period too. But bloating just feeling, you know, really ugh, and I hate bloating. The other thing is back aches and headaches, and your back will hurt because you're, instead of the uterus shedding its lining, it's preparing itself. Like when your uterus sheds the lining, it's preparing itself for your next cycle for it to get pregnant. When you don't get pregnant, it's why you get your period, because your body's preparing itself to get pregnant. When you don't get pregnant, it sheds the lining because your uterus gets thicker, and because you're not pregnant, it doesn't need to be that thick, so it sheds the lining. That's why you get your period. And your back will hurt if you are pregnant. And you'll get a headache because your hormones are just changing so rapidly, and trying to readjust itself to being pregnant, it'll give you such a headache. And they'll, you know, you'll get them more frequently. Okay, the next thing is the top 10 baby boy names and baby girl names. I'll run through the boys' names first and the girls' name. And then you'll see right off the bat for both of them, because of Twilight, those names are really popular. So for the boys' names, the first one is Jacob, which is from Twilight. And it says right on the website, thanks to Twilight for our new #1 baby boy name for 2011. So the #1 name is Jacob. Then it's Michael. Then it's Joshua, Matthew, Christopher, Andrew, Joseph, Daniel, Nicholas, and Ethan. And about 6 of those, like I checked back the last 5 or 6 years, and about 5 or 6 of them have been constantly on the top 10. Jacob kind of fluctuated. He'd be in and out, and then all of a sudden, as soon as Twilight hit, he has been in like the top 3. And because the new movie for Twilight comes out this year, his name shot up to the #1. So I guess it's more of a Team Jacob than a Team Edward this year. The #1 girl's name is Isabella, who is the main character in Twilight. So that shot up to #1. Then 2 is Sophia. Then it's Emma, Olivia, Ava, Emily, Abigail, Madison, Chloe, and Maya. So Isabella was definitely because of Twilight, and it said so on the website. Because the name Isabella usually stayed within the top 10, maybe top 20, but ever since Twilight came out, it's been like rapidly moving up the charts to #1. And the fun thing that I liked reading about was the top 8 baby shower games, because even if you're not the one having a baby shower, but you're trying to help like a friend or a relative plan a baby shower, it's always so hard to think of games to play because you want it to be fun and interesting, but it's like you don't want to bore people. So the top 8 baby shower games that I found, and a couple of them I was like, oh, that sounds really cool. But the first one is The Price is Right. And I was like, oh, okay, I like that show. I'll see what the game's about. But with The Price is Right, you make a list of like baby necessities, like formula, diapers, wipes, that kind of stuff. And then you have your guests there guess the price, and whoever's the closest to the most products wins the game. And I was like, that's really cool. And the next one that was ranked 2 is, Baby Scrabble, and which everybody's played. You just you give them a whole bunch of letters, and you have to basically like a scramble Scrabble, and you give them a chart, and they have to unscramble the words, and they unscramble them, and it's like they scrabble them together. It's really extravagant. It's more like a really thinking game than it is like fun game, but it was top 2. The next one is called Whopper, and I thought this one was really cool. The Whopper game, you get candy, and then when you pass them out or you put them at the table, your guests have to guess how that one particular candy is related to a pregnancy. Like with a Twizzler, the Twizzler is the umbilical cord. With the 100 grand bar, that's your hospital bill. And with the Whopper chocolates, the Whopper, is the contraction. I thought that was really cool. And you can, think of all the different types of candy, and you lay them out, and the people have to take them and try and figure out, okay, what does this constitute for? I thought that was really cool. The next one I thought was kind of cool is Quick Draw. In Quick Draw, you can give them, like a piece of paper or even like a paper plate and crayons or a marker or pen, pencil, whatever you want to use. And they have to close their eyes, or before they close their eyes, they have to put their utensil to whatever you're giving them to draw on. And they have to close their eyes. They have 60 seconds without looking to draw a baby. It has to have the head, the arms, the legs. You have to have 2 eyes, a nose, and a mouth. And whoever is able to draw the best picture that most resembles a baby wins the game. And then after this, I'll tell you like what the top baby shower gifts are. Then the next one, the next one is called Water Break. And what you do is at like craft stores or even like baby stores, they sell these little miniature plastic babies that you put in an ice cube tray and fill it with water. So the babies are like frozen in the ice cube. And when the guests come in, you give them a clear glass of water. And then you put, when they come in, you tell them what's in it, and you have to ask them to write on a piece of tape on the glass when they think the water will break, when the baby will be born. And then you have to keep track, and whoever's the closest to the time they posted wins the game. The next one is called Family Tree. You can either have a list of different TV shows like the Partridge Family, the Brady Bunch, and they have to list all the kids in that family. But if you have a big enough family, you can do your own. Where there's such a huge extended family, you can go to a certain point and just say, okay, name all the kids on this side of the family, which can be hard enough. The next one is called Don't Say That, which is, been like a typical game lately. You give each guest 2 clothespins. They have to hook them onto their shirts. They cannot say the word baby. If they say the word baby, somebody hears them, they take a clothespin. And the person who has the most clothespins at the end of the shower wins the prize. The last one is called Memory Lane, which I think is really great, and it's really personalized, and I love this idea. I'll definitely make sure I have this when I have a baby shower. It's called Memory Lane, and you can purchase a blank album, like a photo album, but it's blank, but it's got like the paperback, not the filmy stuff. And you can just decorate it. You can even buy like a 3-ring binder and just personalize it yourself. And leave spaces, and every guest, after everybody's seated and they're just kind of hanging out and visiting each other, you have the book go to each guest, and each guest will write down like helpful hints, advice, words of encouragement, like little stories from when they had kids, or if they're expecting a kid, and just helpful hints and tips and all that kind of stuff, just to really help, where you can just look through it and it's really personalized, and it's means a lot. And really good gifts to give that I saw, the #1 gift to give is a small picture frame with an ultrasound picture in it. That was the #1 on like 7 different websites. But other than that, you have like free reign to whatever you feel would be a really personalized and little touches to give to gifts for people to remember. But I just wanted to do this little extra video. I thought it was really cool. I found a lot of cool information. I'll definitely use some of this stuff. It was really cool. But that's it for me for this week. I will check in with you guys next Tuesday, which is the 27th. So I will see you then, and maybe we'll test, maybe we won't. I don't know. We'll see. So I'll see you guys next Tuesday. Bye.